All right, I've got a back shot here of two players, and I wish the location was identical, but it's a little bit off. But regardless, I think we can see a couple things here of note. So at this position in time, both players seem ready to a launch. They're both lifting with the front foot. Their hand position looks about very similar. I'll say that. As they move into that ball, you're going to see a couple things take shape here. The one on the left, it appears that he's going to let the ball get a little bit closer. The one on the right, I think it'd be safe to say, is trying to cheat a little bit. And when you recognize the fact that he's trying to cheat, you begin to identify why would a player be trying to cheat. And from this back position, I think this becomes quite obvious that the player on the right is trying to go get the ball a little bit early, and the reason why he's trying to get it a little bit early is he's engaging his right hand, his right arm early. And what you see is as you engage that right hand early, the barrel starts to work away from your body, as evidenced by that right elbow separating from the torso. So as that right elbow starts to separate, we create this long swing, and you'll hear some phrases like casting. And essentially, this is the visual behind that. As that right elbow works away from the swing, you have to go get the ball early, otherwise you'll get jammed, and no one wants to get jammed. So right there is a visual. At this moment in time, all things look pretty good. As that front heel slams into the ground, which is what we deem the beginning of the swing, the player on the right is starting to engage his top hand too early. The back elbow starts to work away from the body, and in turn, we try to cheat to a pitch. We try to go get it prematurely. What tends to happen then is at impact, the impact position is a little bit off the player at the right. So this player at the right has an impact position, although the angles look good, similar, I should say. Although the angles look similar, the player at the right has already started to break away from that barrel, and in turn, he loses that angle ever so slightly at impact. And we get, on the right, we get a little bit more of a flare effect, and on the left, that barrel is connected to our rotating mass, and we get a little bit more of an authentic ball flight, a barrel through the ball that matches the flight of the pitch. Whereas the one on the right, we get that slicing effect to the opposite field. So something to be aware of if you do in fact start to do some back angle comparison or visuals behind the batter. Take a look at when the heel slams into the ground and look and see if in fact you get an elbow breaking away versus an elbow staying tight to the body. One other thing I want to bring into discussion here. Look at the front foot. As we rotate through the ball, we're looking for that front ankle roll. And again, I'd be willing to bet the player on the left isn't thinking about rolling his front ankle. It's just the residue of turning fast. And again, as we turn fast, we're not thinking about that barrel flying off into space. It just happens to do so authentically. I think both guys are really in a good position right here, and sometimes that's why it's so difficult to see with the naked eye, because you are talking about two swings that look very similar right there and very similar right there. But where in fact it does start to break away is when that front heel slams into the ground. You get slightly different, what we call impulses. As that front heel slams in the ground, you get slightly different impulses, which does in fact affect your impact position. So something to consider if you're videoing from behind.